Okay, let's do episode 4, Lake Hartwell. Let's go. Now on Lake Hartwell, I like to use the Jenko swim bait primarily. But I like the tremor shad with a 4-hook and a 7-inch worm with a 4-hook. So there's a 49-pound blue cat, a 30-pound channel cat, a 64-pound flathead cat, and the legendary bass start at 16.5. So anything 15-pound largemouth will be highly competitive for the online open. And I'll be showing you today my favorite online open competition tournament spots. The spots also start at 6.8. So that's interesting as well. Let's go. Awesome lake. Awesome classic event. And my first, well actually I would start to that boat dock to the right, that hot spot to the right. On the side of that one boat dock, that's where I would stop first to pick up a 14 or 15-pound trophy. But I just personally would not trust that for multiple trophies. The dock with all the blue barrels behind that dock is phenomenal for at least one trophy, at least one big trophy. But I really trust my spots, so I'm going all the way to the west, all the way to the buoys, and just following the buoys all the way to the west. So this is admittedly a great distance. However, I would say that you should know about this spot if you're planning on entering the online tournament, because it is absolutely miserable with giant super heavyweight largemouth. So if you haven't seen my hotspots videos or my secret hotspot video, I'll show you this spot now. It's my favorite tourney spot. So you come all the way to the end of the buoys, and here's this boat. Just make a little right here, and it's this point. And if you fish a little deeper, you will find a large congregation of giant largemouth bass. And it remains constant for all tournament hours. You can it's one of those spots that you can rely upon the entire tournament to yield at least a couple giant trophies per attempt. It is that solid. I kind of feel like you must know about it for the tournament. You really need to know about it. Maybe there's a spot better than this. If there is, I am not aware of it. That's how highly I think of this spot for tournament play.
But it's a solid keeper.
So let's have a little talk about consoles. So in video game news, if you watch any guys like Spawn Wave or Jimmy Champagne, PlayStation Ready, those YouTube channels, they're always talking about the next generation of video game consoles. And I'd like to know in the comments, what do you think about all digital consoles? Are you in favor of a discless generation? I will tell you what I think. Personally, I am not a big fan of an all digital generation. And it's not because I worship, game discs or their cases or the artwork or the writing upon it. It's because of this reason. If we have all digital generation, there will be no more game stores. Amazon will stop selling discs. There will be no more discs at Walmart. Eventually, there will be no more discs. Eventually, they will disappear. And I'm not a fan of that. Because the presence of all of these stores gives us the freedom to shop around, to compare different sellers, and to buy cheap games. If you do away with all the merchandise of the physical games, you're left with nothing but digital stores. And they will eventually increase the price dramatically. They will eventually bleed you dry. If the only place you can buy a game is from their digital store, PlayStation or Xbox or, Nintendo, they will eventually charge you exorbitant high prices for all games. Any game that you download will eventually, and maybe they'll have deals and they'll have discounts, and but you'll have to probably be a member and, buy a subscription. And you see, like, when there's no more stores selling discs and cartridges, then you have to buy from their special download store. No more shopping around for physical media. No more buying cheap used games at GameStop. Buying a cheap used disc and putting it in your console. And so it really, it ruins the market of used games. You can no longer buy used. You have to buy brand new from the digital store. And I'll tell you, I bought a Series S Xbox. And I was so unhappy with the digital store, I returned it. I can't be a digital guy. I can't be all digital. So that's what I think. What do you think in the comments? Feel free to share your opinion and your point of view. I would be interested to know, do you think that's where we're headed? Do you think we're headed for all digital future? It's kind of a big subject right now in the video game news on YouTube. Newsmakers for video games are starting to wonder if we're going to have an all digital generation. If you'll be forced to buy a digital console eventually. So this spot is really cold right now. What can I say? All hotspots take a little while to heat up. Perhaps I would be better off going to my second hotspot first, and then coming back here. But this is not making for great video. I told you this spot was going to be a roaring, raging, super heavyweight trophy bass hotspot, and they have not yet arrived. Okay, so let's go to my next hotspot for super heavyweight trophies. Keep that spot in mind. We will go back there later in the video during episode 4, Lake Hartwell. So this is a little to the east. It's kind of towards the northern centric part of the map. All those long boat docks in the center, it's just to the left of those, coming up. So we don't quite reach the docks, the long docks in the middle, and we're going to this boathouse. If you run into trouble in the last spot and it shuts off for some reason, it's not active with giant trophies, come here. I caught rhino here very easily. And it can be loaded with giant, super heavyweight, largemouth bass. I missed a bass with this tremor shad. And sometimes I do. But I would still recommend the tremor shad as being in the top 2 best largemouth lures in this game. It's just great for the giants. You rarely miss a giant with it. They seem to bite it readily, and they rarely like charge at it and then decide not to bite. It's got a good hookup ratio. I'm pretty sick, folks. I don't know how many more of these episodes I'll be able to do. I have a slight disease. And so keep me in your prayers. If you're religious, if you're not,
The green beast from beneath.
wish me luck. Because I'm probably going to need it. But on to more happy matters. On to matters of Bassmaster. And there's a big one. As I predicted, one of my hotspots is going to hold giant trophy largemouth. Either the one or the other. But that just seems to be the way in Bassmaster. These hotspots, they're not always consistent. They're not always there. That's why I recommend, if you're entering the tournament, to have a few, have 3. Where you're going to pick up a 14 or a 15 or many, multiple 14s or 15s. I mean, don't even enter the open probably unless you got 2 really good spots for largemouth. Or you're just going to have a miserable, unhappy, upset, angry time, That's what I found. Like when I first started the game, and I just entered like the open just to enter the open, and I was like beyond 50th place at the end. You know, I just was upset, honestly. So only enter the open if you really know that you are well prepared. That would be my advice. But try this spot out, guys. It's amazing. Like it's not always just like this. I caught rhino here. I was on dynamic weather. It started raining, and I pitched out next to this boathouse, and I was just retrieving about halfway through my retrieve. Rhino came out from under the boathouse, and I caught him. Now, I have to say about this spot here, I have caught many 14s and 15s during free fishing. So I know it's reliable for probably a couple giant trophies during the online open, during the competition. But I had to do a Hartwell episode because honestly, guys, I'll be perfectly plain about this. I love this map. I absolutely love it. It's huge, it's gigantic. There's many good spots and busy pockets of fish. If you just go slow and use your fish finder, you will find your own hotspots here, and you will catch legendary fish of all kinds. Spotted bass, largemouth bass, and other species.
There has been a Basswatch sighting.
So it's a little early today. It's 9 in the morning. And I have not yet caught a giant super heavyweight trophy. Also, it's a little cool. This is 48 degrees. So it looks like I may have gotten a rather cold day. For Hartwell here, but it's not always about, practicing for the competition and getting a bunch of 14s and 15s within competition. Whoa, baby. Here's a monster. This is a big one. And as I said, it's not Cosmo. It looks like Cosmo. Just like Cosmo, but it's not him. Is it? But as I said, it's not always about like getting competition results. Sometimes you're just looking for a big bass, and you want to know some good spots? Hey, I studied this map. And I got a bunch of really good videos on my channel about where you can catch some giants. Wow.
Chubasa.
A 16-2. That is amazing. You usually get 14s and 15s here. I'm really not sure how I got this bad boy. I don't remember getting a 16 here before, but that is amazing. It's worth $6.25 grand. Wow. So try it out. Try this spot, and I think you'll be delighted. to find that it holds rhino. At times, I got him on dynamic weather. It holds a 16.2. At times on cloudy weather. Okay, but it's not really extra busy right here, right now. Okay, so keep your eyes on my map. And I want to show you another spot, a spot that I caught Doughboy. And how I set up on it. Now, I have caught a 16-pounder here. During free fishing, you can fish it a couple ways. If you're going for the 16-pounder here, kind of pull up pretty far here. And cast out full length cast right here. And you may catch a 16. I did. At one point. Now, I would not call this a raging hotspot, but it is capable of giving you a 16-pounder at times. So I would recommend maybe even try it during the open, you know. Oh, that may be a big one. I just missed him. See if I can pick this bass up. Looks as though he may have skinned out. I recommend, give this position maybe a few minutes, but then you got to try the Doughboy position. This is not the spot that I caught Doughboy. But you see what the tremor shad is capable of. The tremor shad with a 4-hook. It's just like you never know how giant a bass you are going to get with this thing. It's really as good as the Jenko swim bait. It really is. I just kind of think that the hookup ratio is maybe a little better with the Jenko. But there's champions of Bassmaster who swear by this. And they say that they prefer this to the Jenko. There's a bass. But this curve over here, you can pick up super heavyweight giants here. 16, 15, super heavyweights. And this is still early in the competition. The competition starts at 7, and I think it ends at about 1500. It's 1 full hour. Oh, very, very, very nice. A 16 and a 14.6. So this is the equivalent. I have the equivalent right now of about 2 15-pounders if this was the competition. Now, let me show you how I caught Doughboy. I started noticing my fish finder was really exploding when I was set up over here. So I backed off and I started pitching right where my boat used to be. And I caught Doughboy on this point here. With the Jankolistic swim bait. And you kind of, aim out a little bit, not right on the very bank. And you can catch legendary largemouth bass here. Legendary largemouth. And I caught him right here. I caught Doughboy right here. Second to biggest largemouth on the map. But it is not, however, a roaring, raging, multiple giant trophy spot. I would not trust it for multiple giants during the competition. You could try it, and maybe you'll pick up the legendary. But I wouldn't waste too much time here. I think the other position is perhaps more fruitful. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Now, Big Timer J popularized this spot at certain times of the day on this tree and around it. I wouldn't say it's a raging hotspot. Like, he put it in his hotspots videos. I wouldn't say that it's an extremely busy hotspot, but I would say that if you stay here long enough, you are going to catch a 14 or a 15 pound largemouth. Like, guaranteed. It's just a big question of how long will you wait, before it does come. So I'll give it one more cast, I guess. But it's worth knowing about this spot. I wouldn't say this is the most exciting fishing here. But it does, like Big Timer J said, it does produce a 14 or a 15 pounder in time. And I'll have to agree with him. It can be a very valuable place to set up shop for 5 or 10 minutes if you're in a pinch during the tournament. But there's not often a huge, giant congregation it's usually like this. There are bass. There are trophy bass. But it's not like a really raging, roaring, real super busy, crowded hotspot. So what do you think about an all-digital future? I know a guy who's on YouTube, and he's got a news channel. He says, and he's a huge Nintendo fan, he says he will not even buy it. He will not buy a new PlayStation if it is all digital, or digital only. He's so against an all-digital kind of future for gaming. And I thought that was interesting. Being a PlayStation guy, you think, well, he would have to have a PlayStation. It's the next generation, Everybody's going to get it. I'm sure he will too. And honestly, I believe he will buy it if it is all digital and there's no alternative physical disc version. I think he's full of it. He's going to buy it because you know how gaming fans are. They just have to have all the new stuff. And he's no exception. He'll buy it. Now this spot seems to have fish in it, like bigger sized fish. And this is it. This is how I would play the tournament. If it's full of panfish here, don't waste your time. Leave it alone. Go to the other hot spots and come back later. If it's all panfish here, the spot is not active yet. And you're better off elsewhere, honestly. But I would always return. I personally would return here. It's honestly, it's like the best spot I know on Hartwell for, I mean, multiple giant largemouth in a short period of time. You know, competitive period of time, multiple giants, you know, right away sometimes.
It's Chubasa.
But they're not right on the bank usually. They're kind of, the hot spot of fish is kind of out a little deeper. And it's where you can really surprise one of the giant largemouth just spawning in. I mean, I've tried the bank here, and sometimes they do cruise over there. And you can catch 15s there and 14s. I think they're easier to catch out in this position. Kind of a ways away from the bank, where they all seem to spawn. Well, I thought I just saw a real giant trophy largemouth despawn in there. So I'm kind of hoping he'll come back. So I really want to show you this spot, like how amazing a largemouth location this is. It's just no largemouth right now. I did see a pretty big trophy despawn. And guess where it was? He was like way out here. But I was pitching here. I don't want to go too deep. I don't know why. I just don't really. I'm afraid I'll miss something kind of right here. Because it does seem to be the position where they mostly spawn in, right by this kind of tall grass in here. So how about that 16 too? At spot 2. Oh my goodness. That's like legendary size. It's very rare that you will catch a 16 on Hartwell. I mean, it's just, maybe it's the weather that this spot is kind of like chill right now. There's no largemouth in abundance. Because it always is. It always is. I just think it's a little unfortunate for the sake of the video that I can't show you the spot roaring and raging with bass. You know, a bunch of large, big trophies, like it usually is. I think, personally, I do think it has something to do with the temperature there. If you'll notice, it's 48 degrees. So that's pretty cool for a southern lake. And that could be adversely affecting the hot spots, perhaps. Well, it seems like it could be pretty big. It is not fast, and it's not jumping, which they're both signs of small bass. This is doing, and it's got a heartbeat. So I got a 16, I got a 14, and now this bass. Okay, it's pretty small. It's not even a 13. It's pretty small. But I think a good sign. I want another 16. That thing scared the pants off of me. I couldn't believe when that thing came in. I thought it was Cosmo. That yellow color. It was just so huge. Here's some bass. But you'll notice the fish finder is quite excited here. That's because it is a raging largemouth bass hotspot on any normal day. This is a colder day for Hartwell. I think I'll just have to leave very soon. If I don't get something very significant, by like 1200, I guess. But I'm not going to show a lot of footage, a lot more footage of this spot. If it's just going to embarrass itself, you know. Because it is a very reliable giant spot. So I have caught all the legendary largemouth bass on this level, excepting for Polaris, the smallest one. He has proven to be quite elusive. And as a matter of fact, I caught Rhino 3 times, Doughboy once, Cosmo once, and Solstice twice before I have even seen Polaris anywhere. I guess Polaris is the sneaky one. This could be big. And as I predicted, this spot can yield and will yield some massive gargantuan beasts. This appears to be large. And as I said, Bassmaster is just a thrill. Guys, it's amazing. The more time you give to this game, the more you will get from it. All right, a very unimpressive fish. I have to say that's not even 13. For the competition, you must have the 14s and the 15s, 5 of them, to finish in the top 3. That's a jump. He is not supersized.
Jeepers creepers, check out the peepers on that small dog.
I guess deep down, I just know it's coming, really. Or I think it's coming. That 14, or maybe high 14, or 15. This is how I would fish the tournament. These are my spots. I just have so much faith in this bass hotspot. I believe in it more than even when I caught the 16 pounder. And I will tell you this, I caught him here too. 16 pounder. Well worth knowing about. I just have a lot of time to play the game. My dad died, my brother died, and we had a business. So now I'm unemployed, on disability payments, living with my mom. And it's just not easy these days for me. I got a sickness, and it's tough, you know? But I've been blessed in my life. I have a lot of things to be grateful for. And I thank God every day for every single breath that I get to breathe. And, so that's why I know a lot about Bassmaster. Because I play it like 3 to 5 hours a day. And it's brought a lot of joy into a pretty difficult life, a difficult situation for me. It's brought a lot of joy and happiness and good times and And this spot is absolutely, completely, totally dead. In this particular weather, back to the boat dock. So I guess I should show you this hotspot if you're not aware or familiar with it. This dock with all these blue barrels. This is a great place to stop when you're bass fishing on Hartwell. I mean, it's like one of the best spots. I like chunking the Jenko swim bait underneath this little dock here. And there is plenty of fish. It's not like the other docks. They're pretty scarce. This is one of the only docks that is like this. I caught a legendary largemouth bass here, Solstice. I caught him for the second time. And as you can see now, it's just everywhere. It's like the devil knew I was making an episode for my YouTube channel. And all the fish are panfish everywhere. And he just doesn't want me to have like a super awesome episode with many hotspots, so all the normal hotspots are kind of shut down. But usually, this school of panfish, usually it's like all bass and other fish, like walleye and catfish and larger fish. But on this day, with this weather, it is quite scarce. Very interesting that on certain weather, on certain temperatures, it just really freezes up. So I'm going to leave out of here. But try it out, guys. On normal days, that's a raging hotspot in there. There's also this spot where you can catch 14s and 15s. Episode 4, Lake Hartwell, on a very scarce, cold day when there's not a ton of fish, but where we have each other to keep each other entertained. And that is my job for you, my viewers. And I try to be as entertaining as possible in a family-friendly way, of course, and try to make it as cool a video as I can for an hour, ringing your ear about Hartwell and how awesome a map it truly, truly is. And that it is. So you can see there are fish here. It just seems like on this particular weather, it is just like you have that in Bassmaster where like you'll notice your hotspots just shut off. I think it might have something to do with like certain weather conditions, like the temperature of different days. I can't prove it. I don't know for sure if it is. But you gotta change up your spots if, oh, hello. If your normal honey holes are not producing, look at this big son of a gun. He's an absolute pig. But he is big, guys. He's big. And so try it out. Try this this position. Big Timer Jay always said to move up. Move up to where that dock is. But guys, I have a lot of success with 14s and 15s on this particular position as well. And this guy's big, I think. Yes, quite nice. That is the second best fish of the episode at around 15 pounds. So I got over 16, just under 15, a 14, and those are all the giant super heavyweights. But as you can see, they can be cruising out here, especially on really tough temperature and weather. They can be out here, kind of in the middle of this area. Some real massive giants. And I would be doing solid right now. If this was a competition, the online tournament, I would be doing absolutely fine. But I guess I'll move, because I really don't believe that another one's coming. And plus, it's a video, you know, and I guess I'll make it kind of like, since it's really poor weather, I'll show you what I would do. What I would personally do in really tough weather with a really tough bite. So I would check this spot here. It is the Big Timer J spot. If I can just find it here. I believe it's over here on the crook of this island. Yes, this is the Big Timer J Cosmo spot. He catches Cosmo in here on video. On YouTube, you can find that video. But it's quite a nice, interesting video. And you can catch super giants in here. On occasion. I would not call this a raging hotspot. And this weather is just tough. I mean, there's hardly any fish anywhere. Even in the most, like, reliable, super heavyweight hotspots. I mean, there is some, but there's not like a multitude of bass anywhere. On this particular weather. 48 degrees. But I have had an absolute blast playing this episode with you, my viewers.
Not going to set any records with that one, but it's a solid keeper.
And I say this, give Hartwell some more time, and you will be very happy and very pleased with the bass fishing. If you try some of these spots and you really give Hartwell a serious, long bit of time, you will be quite impressed with just the quality and the size and everything about Hartwell that makes it so special. I just absolutely love Hartwell, Jordan, Seminole. They're like all equally my favorite. I am also very fond of Sabine. What can I say? Sabine's just special to me. It's the second map that I really played, for any length of time that was appreciable. That I really dedicated time to. And I played Chickamauga first. But I enjoy Sabine more than almost any other map. And the bass are real small there, and I don't know why. I think it's just the way it looks. That map just looks so cool. And also, I have a really highly competitive strategy for that map. And I do feel as though I could win at Sabine on the online tournament. I haven't had a chance to prove it yet. But Sabine's definitely in my top three best lakes. I got 3 minutes, folks. And this episode will be completed. It will be over. And I'm going to try to get to one more episode. Lake Seminole, episode 5. And we're going to give it a serious chance. And see if it doesn't disappoint. But that is my plan for episode 5, guys. So nothing legendary. No big 16s in here. I would have actually had a kind of a rough round if this was the tournament, honestly. But I did catch some very cool bass. And I'm very happy with the video. It's not always about catching, it's fishing. So, it's all about patience. And just enjoying what you do get, honestly. Well, thanks for watching the video, folks. And if you stayed to the end, I really want you to be my subscriber, watch all my videos, and make this enormous waste of time worthwhile. Thanks for watching my video.